Most people spend decades building up their RSPs, but barely any time planning how to actually take their money out. And that's where everything starts to go wrong. They get caught completely off guard by unexpected tax bills, OAS clawbacks, and ballooning RRIF withdrawals. And the worst part is that all of these literally thousands of dollars wasted could have been avoided if only someone would have told them what to do with their RSPs once they stopped working. Because once you hit a certain age, it can't be undone. But I've helped Canadians retire comfortably by planning smarter drawdowns. And in this video, we're going to show you 3 common misconceptions that cost retirees thousands in tax and 3 simple hacks to melt down your RSP the smart way. Just before we dive into these strategies, let's go over a few misconceptions that I see over and over again that are quietly costing retirees thousands. You might even believe some of these misconceptions yourself. To start off, people often think that waiting as long as possible to touch their RSPs is the smartest tax move. And the logic is sound. Delay withdrawals, delay taxes, and let the account grow. But here's the problem. By the time you turn 71, you have to convert your RSP into a RRIF, and in the following year, you have to make your first mandatory withdrawal, whether you need the money or not. So if you add that on top of CPP and OAS and potentially other pension income, you might find yourself in a much higher tax bracket all of a sudden. Worse, those withdrawals are fully taxable, which could put you in a position where your old age security begins to get clawed back, or it could affect other income tested benefits. Another big one, people assume they'll just dip into their RSPs when they need the money. Seems flexible, right? But treating your RSP like a just-in-case account probably means that you're not planning withdrawals around your marginal tax rate. That often leads to big spikes in income and big tax bills, especially if you're making a large withdrawal for a major expense. Without a long-term strategy, you're missing out on the opportunity to draw out your RSPs over a longer period of time, thus reducing your lifetime tax burden. Then finally, and this one has more to do with the misunderstanding of the language, but when some people hear RRSP meltdown, they think of something drastic like pulling out all of their money at once. It's not. An RRSP meltdown is a slow strategic process whereby you withdraw funds from your RRSPs over a long period of time so you can smooth out your income and avoid getting hit by large RRIF withdrawals once you're forced to make mandatory withdrawals. You're not blowing up your retirement account, you're optimizing it. And just before we dive into the first strategy, if you're serious about optimizing your income and keeping your tax bill as low as possible, then check out our free retirement withdrawal guide. It's filled with a bunch of actionable ideas, just like the ones that we're going to review in this video, and you can use these as a way to optimize your retirement tax and income strategies. You can download it using the link in the description. All right, let's get into the first hack. I once worked with a client who withdrew $50,000 per year from their RSPs starting at age 60. They didn't need all that money to live on, but they were in a low tax bracket, so they made withdrawals and shifted that extra money that they didn't need to live on to more tax efficient accounts. Compared to someone who waited to make RSP withdrawals, they saved over $220,000 in taxes during their retirement. So here's the easiest way to cut your future tax bill. Don't wait until the government forces your hand. Because the longer you wait, the larger your RRIF is eventually going to be, and once your mandatory withdrawals begin, when you stack that on top of CPP and OAS and any other pension income, you might find yourself in a higher tax bracket. Even pulling out $20,000 to $30,000 per year in your early 60s can make a significant difference. So if you're retired or semi-retired, start planning your RSP withdrawals today before you're forced to convert your RSP into a RRIF and start making mandatory withdrawals. You want to take advantage of those low income tax years, and the best time to do it is before the government forces your hand. For our next hack, we have one of the most overlooked strategies. Let's say you're in a low tax bracket. If you make a withdrawal from your RSP and put those funds inside of your TFSA, you're essentially converting taxable dollars into tax-free income in the future. And if you don't need the money now, you're still lowering the amount of money you have in your RSP, which is going to protect your final estate tax bill and also protect you from potential clawbacks of your old age security. So start using your RSP withdrawals not to necessarily spend, but to start maximizing your tax-free savings account. So every year, look at how much room you have to contribute to your TFSA, and if you can make that withdrawal from your RSP without pushing yourself into too high of a bracket, then it's probably a good time to shift that income to your more tax-efficient accounts. If you're watching this and thinking, this sounds smart, but I'm not sure how this applies to me, this is exactly what we help people figure out. You can book a free retirement strategy call using the link below, where we'll go over your RRSP, TFSA, and CPP timing to come up with a plan that is optimal for your situation. So if you're serious about making the most of your retirement income, then hit the link in the description to book a call. Now let's move on to the third RRSP meltdown hack. Delaying CPP and OAS often gets pitched as a strategy to maximize your guaranteed income in retirement. And that's true, but there's also another hidden benefit to using this strategy. By delaying these benefits, you're creating a window for yourself. Maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 10 years if you wait until 70 to start those government benefits. But the idea is that without that income coming in every year, you're going to put yourself in a low tax bracket. This is the perfect opportunity to draw on your RRSPs because you're going to pay significantly less tax to take that money out compared to waiting until you start your CPP and OAS. You might push yourself into a higher tax bracket. If you retire in your early 60s, then consider deferring your CPP and OAS to 70 and use that gap in your income to draw on your RRSPs. Again, this strategy only makes sense if you have good health, and deferring CPP and OAS makes sense. It's a simple way to turn low income years into long-term tax savings. So those are 3 of the most effective RRSP meltdown hacks to reduce your tax bill and keep more of your hard-earned income. But your RRSP isn't the only place where tax can eat away at your plan. If you want to go deeper, then check out this next video where we go over 5 retirement tax hacks for Canadians, where we go over the full picture, not just RRSP withdrawals. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to grab your free guide below.